Hi, my name is Gino and today I will guide you how to make a crispy bread. It will take some time because are necessary 3 days to be able to finally have a product that is good to eat. So let's start immediately with the ingredients. They're really simple. We just need water, dry yest, salt, and of course flour. The proportion is quite easy. For 1.5 liters of water, I use a pack of flour and then I add a little more to make the dough more strong and compact. About the flour, I'm not using particular kind of flour. Normally we need a strong type of flour that is more suitable for a dough that will rise for a long period of time. But today we are using a cheap, very cheap one. You can see that it's not strong because if you look at the protein on the nutrition fact, you will see that it's only 3 grams of proteins. That means that it's not really a good product to make bread. But trying and trying at the end, I figured out that it's a pretty good flour and we can make the dough and the bread even with this flour. So, do not waste too much money, try to find a super good flour unless you want to make a special bread because in the end to make a good product we can still use this cheap one. So, the first things we need to do is put the yest in the water and then we'll add the salt to the water. The water is cold for this process. I use a mixer where I put a spoon of yest like this. When the yest is well dissolved, I add 70 grams of sea salt and run the mixer for another minute pretty much. Yeah, you see the sea salt that I'm using is the big one, the thick one. Our solution is ready, so it's time to pour it into a bowl where I will add half of the flour. And give the time to the flour to slowly absorb the water and then add more flour and then in meanwhile keep going mixing with the tool. When the compost starts to become more solid and the water has absorbed most of the flour, we are ready to work with our hands. To avoid to mess too much around with flour, I use this plastic box. It is absolutely inexpensive, around $5 at Walmart. I have multiple of those because you would see also are really useful, and I use them for a lot of other things. So I put some flour on the bottom of the box and then I put the dough from the bowl. Now I bring the dough from the bottom to the top, and this will permit to engulf air in the dough. And I will keep going until all the flour is absorbed. And when all the flour actually is absorbed, then I will add around another half cup of flour or as necessary. It's based on the humidity and temperature. In general, less in the summer and a little bit more in the winter. When also this flour has been absorbed, the dough is ready. Do not keep going to work the dough, otherwise it will become sticky. And you will need to add more flour. We want to avoid to do that, so add more flour. Otherwise the dough will become too dry and will not rise much when it will be in the oven. After 20 hours, this is our dough. You can see the bubbles created by the gases inside the dough. And if you look at the glutenic mesh, you see it's pretty good and quite soft and elastic. You can stretch it a lot, and you can see that you can definitely stretch, and it doesn't break easily unless you stretch a lot. Now what we're gonna do is we divide the dough in 4 parts, and each one will be one piece of our bread. As first, I cut the dough in 4 parts with a spatula, and then I put the single dough in another box with some flour. When we have the dough in the box, we need to stretch it and fold. And we stretch the dough in 3 parts, and we repeat this movement 2 times. This is done to give the strength to the dough. Once it's done, I put the piece of dough in a smaller box and let to stand there for another 12 to 20 hours. It will depend. You can prepare this in the night, and it will gonna be ready the next morning. And I repeat the process for all 4 doughs. The day after is time to prepare the dough for the cooking process. I cut 4 pieces of parchment paper to put on the oven pans. I bring a box of dough and I let it to fall into the plastic box, covered with flour, of course. I add some flour to the dough and start to make more folds. In this phase we can shape our bread also. I prepare the pan with paper and I put on the surface some flour and cornmeal. The cornmeal will prevent that the dough will stick too much and will help to separate the bread from the paper when it's cooked, when it's fully done. I put some cornmeal also on the top of the dough. This will give to the bread a nice texture at the end when it will be cooked. I put the dough into another plastic box, but you can leave it outside also if you want, cover maybe with a piece of cloth. The important thing is that it will be out of airflow, just because we don't want that the surface of the dough will start to become too dry. Otherwise it will be more difficult than when the dough is in the oven to rise. After around 2 hours, it's time to prepare the oven. I turn it on in bake mode to the maximum temperature. Mine is a gas oven and maximum temperature is 525 degrees Fahrenheit. If your oven doesn't reach so high temperature, you can still make bread. Maybe it will just take longer. To maintain the grade of humidity in the oven, I put 2 pans of water on the lower rack of the oven. When the oven reaches the maximum temperature, it's time to break the dough and put them on the pans and then in the oven. Cooking time depends on temperature. For me, is around 40 to 45 minutes. I prefer a well done bread because it will be more crispy on top. And after around 40 minutes, here is the result. Once out of the oven, we should separate the bread from the paper and put on our racks to cool it down.
Oh, it's beautiful, this bread. Yeah. And then you can slice and have for your friends. Thank you for watching. See you next time.